Hello everybody and welcome back to our little farming adventure. Now you'll realize I have a little cow on my head. That is kind of a hint towards this video. Today we are working with Meadow. First and foremost though, we do need to decorate a bit. I didn't have as much time between last episode and this episode that I typically do. I went to go hang out with some friends, so What are you doing back there, dude? Either way, I went to go do social things, so I didn't have as much time to work on the world. I did get the pathway done back there. I've gotten a few things done. Have a pathway here. I've done a bit of decorating in other areas. Mainly what I've been doing is terraforming back here. You'll notice I have this little step-up platform. This is where Meadow is going. Or at least the main building for Meadow is going here. There's going to be like a little garden slash farm area down here that they work with, and then vinery is going to be back here in this little corner. So slowly working our way back. I'm actually planning on putting like a little farming hut back here because we don't have as much like livable houses. A lot of the stuff has purpose to it. We have one here, which is actually a chicken farm anyway, but it is technically a livable house for the restaurant worker. We have this house, which is technically a livable house, and this one, which is my starter home but livable house. So none of the rest of our houses are actually that way. Well, this one is too. This is actually the house for the worker in here, as well as an aging facility. So we have a few, but I feel like we need to have a few more. So having like a another fishing house over here probably would help. So probably gonna put that in. I haven't really touched any of the building. Well, you can tell I haven't touched this. I didn't even realize I was there. But I haven't really touched anything since last episode as far as decor bits, hence the reason my inventory looks the way it does. We're gonna go through and we're gonna throw in some trees. We're gonna throw in some decorative bits, just to try and make sure the area is full of life, just like everywhere else. Just to kind of try and have it blend a bit better. Oh, that is all up on the building. You know what? That actually doesn't look horrible. The building's just big and blocky anyway. That doesn't look bad. I can't say we're going to need another tree like here, though. And there we go. The front end of the bakery complete. Going completely over to this side and into this little nook over here. It's a lot of seating area outside. There's gonna be a lot of seating area inside as well. It's just right now I haven't decorated the inside. Like I said, hasn't been a whole lot of time. I just have like the bare bones decorations. I actually did this in the last episode. I don't remember if I showed it off or not, but I was gonna make the top part of this like a bookstore, and then make the bottom half the bakery. If that helps make sense as to why I put so much seating area out here, is because most bookstores and of the such bookstores typically have a bakery or a coffee shop off of them. Don't know why, it's just a thing and they go so well together. So I've done the same thing here, even though in more medieval fantasy-esque stuff, books aren't really that big. Like owning them, it wasn't really that big. This is my world. I like books and other people will have books. Dang it. I will make it a thing. My fantasy world has books. Well, most fantasy places had books, but most people don't read a lot. Now I've got to do this side. Gotta somehow hide this. Okay, unfinished kitchen, but this is now a finished little seating area back here with a table that was obviously put here whenever the building was first constructed. And then some mismatched stuff. Probably this table went out of commission. Maybe one of its legs is kind of unsteady. And they just made some wooden chairs to sit back here. I also put a whole bunch of these lattices up here, just to be vines kind of climbing up the building. Because this building is just wall all the way across, and I didn't like how it looked, so I did a little bit of it over here, some more of it over here, just so it kind of blends back. I also did lilac and peonies as a mix. Lilac is kind of the younger plant, and then peonies is like full bloom. So it's kind of showing age growth in that case. I don't know if my placement of it makes any sense, but I tried. And now that is handled. I kind of wanted to hide the crew area from back here on this path. Hence the reason there's so many leaves. It's overgrown and stuff over here. I wanted to hide the crew area on this angle, but have it visible on this angle. I still need to get back there and touch up this area. Probably going to do a few more of the lattices climbing up this side of the building. But that's going to happen when I steadily get back here. I'm going to slowly work my way through. But that is our bookstore slash bakery area complete. I think I still want to shove like a spore blossom or two back in the trees, but that's fine. Now I'm going to touch on the area back here, and then I'm going to get to work on down there. Okay, and there we go. That is now all grown up. I have a swamp oak and an oak tree kind of just circumferencing the building. So it just kind of makes a bit more sense how I have so many trees grown up just throughout the area. This area now has a bunch of trees grown around it. I kind of want to make it feel like this bakery has been here a long time, along with the storage building. Like some of the first buildings put here were some of these buildings, and the vinery and the brewery are going to be the biggest buildings and probably the oldest set out of the buildings. And there we go. Some finishing touches on this area where it's overgrown now. I now have another little bench seating area here where you can just sit here and sit with the gardens and stuff. Oh, I didn't put a flower here. Well, let's fix that. Let's throw one of these guys in here. Also, I found out that this plant, hyssop, looks kind of like the lilac, just a younger variant of it. Probably a shorter plant. So putting them next to each other just looks good. I know hyssop is probably a completely different plant, but it just looks good together. And there we go. Now that's put in. Now I did throw in some more grape variants back here. These are both the Savannah variants. I could also put the Tiger grapes on here, but I preferred how the Savannah grapes looked because both the Taiga and the regular ones are just like these. I don't want to say balls. They're more like bush variants that just come so far up off the ground that I prefer this nether version that's over here and this version because they're actually attached to the ground and they look like they're growing up the grapevine stem. They just, in my opinion, look better. But the red and the white grapes of the normal variant are probably the most common ones to be used. So that's the reason they're here. But when it comes to decorative, I'm probably going to actually use the Savannah grapes because they just, in my opinion, look better. No, it's about to be nap time again. I've also got a whole bunch of bushes around here. I have a path going in between these two. I don't want too much growing up in between them. I debated putting coarse dirt all the way through here and only putting rooted dirt where the vine stems were. Still debating on that one. I may end up doing it. I don't know. Just this is where I'm going to leave this for now. Whenever I get over there and doing vinery, that's when I'm going to make the final decision on this. How I want to do the vinery stuff over there. Oh my gosh. Slowly but steadily, we are making progress here. I started from this angle. Trying to get a feel for it. Because all of this is going to be this wooden pathing because this has been here for a minute. Just like I said, the bakery's been here for a minute. So all of this has been here for a while, so I feel like they would have more permanent pathing throughout all of this. And this pathway would probably be the more properly maintained one, seeing as this is probably used a lot. especially seeing as two of their main grains are grown here. So there's this pathway coming through. There's a bench and stuff here. Decided to try and see if I could get one of the trees to grow here. It did. I have some of the Savannah grapes growing here just to blend this entrance into a field. I want to see if I can maybe fit in some sort of well back in this area, because we're going to have a lot of space between this field and this one. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Meant to aim above the plant, not at the plant. But this is going to end up being an entrance to this one. I may be able to make an entrance to this one, in which case we could probably put a well, like, here? I don't have any stairs on me right now, but probably put a well here. And there we go, a little well. Now this is going to have pathway around it. Just so we can get around whenever we need to and stuff like that. But I feel like there needs to be some sort of well in the center of all of these fields, because even though I can see water points, most of these fields would have to be watered by hand, like in lore-wise. So makes a bit more sense that there's a well nearby, because we do have a well up in this area. There we go. I was sitting here like, am I far enough up? It's because of how zoomed in I am. But here is where our other well is. And we have another one over here. So I just feel like when there's a crop field nearby, this one's in the center of town. This is more for like drinking water, stuff of that nature. Okay, and there we go. This area is now fully decorated. I do want to get some spore blossoms in just to help with this area. I did end up putting in some trees. I know with most crop fields you don't typically want to put in trees because you don't want shade around your crop fields. Depending on the crop, you may want shade around some of them. But for the most part, this is a Minecraft world. We aren't too worried about that. And besides, this helps put some light on the pathways, especially at night when there's not a whole lot of light in this area. Now, this pathway is going to continue this way. And it's going to go along the back of this. There's a zombie around here somewhere, and it's irritating the ever-loving bejesus out of me, and I can't find him. Oh my lord. I'm just gonna walk over here. This is where I wanted to put that fishing hut. Are you offering to be the fisherman? What is happening here? Every time. But this is kind of where I wanted to put that fisherman's hut. Was along this beach area. Like tucked into this little corner here. And like over in this area, have this be like a field for our goats, our specialty meadow sheep that I have. Maybe throw a few of them over here. The buffalo, the strange nether cow. Probably put a few of them over here. Just so we have a spot specifically for Meadow's animals. But I think my next goal is going to be, first of all, empty my inventory. And then I'm going to work on getting just the building in today. Today, we are not going to work on Meadow. Today, we are going to get the building and everything set up to do Meadow in the next episode. Because next episode, I'm going to fight the Ender Dragon. I want to do everything to fight the Ender Dragon, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish Meadow. That's how I want to do that entire thing. So, let's get the building up for Meadow. Okay. Now, the Meadow building itself is not going to be that large. I have it set to be like this way. Like this is the front of the building. And there's actually going to be a pathway back through here. That's going to end up being its small dairy farm. There we go. Good lord. And there is such a thing as grain milk, and it being very close to one of the wheat fields that are in the area, the other one being way up here, right there. So it being very close to this makes a bit of sense. And there we go. The entire building is complete. I still need to get a door in here. I need to get another lantern in here. Inside of this room. Let me take this down. Go. But that gives us that entire building. Come off maybe this side. But I did a more classic L-shaped roof. Just because it made sense. It is a little bit weird up towards the top, like in the back corner. Back here, you can kind of see it's a full block instead of a stair. It's the only way I could figure out how to do it and make it to where it kind of still matches the same tempo as the rest of my roofs. You can... Oh, hold on. No, you can't see over there. Hold on. I'll go over here to where you can see this one. But you can kind of see stairs kind of line my roofs. Kind of give them these dips. This block is the only way I could figure out how to continue that, and actually made it line up perfectly to where there's a backward stair on each one of the stone stairs, which I try to aim for whenever I'm building these roofs. But like it happened over here, I actually kind of just showed it off. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You can tell where I started the roof by which one is actually correct and which one is not. So this one I worked back to front on that roof. But there we go. And sadly, that is where we're going to leave this video off. We actually did quite a bit. It's actually been about 4 hours of recording for me, so this took a lot longer than I expected it to. I expected to go ahead and decorate this building while I was here, but I do not have enough time to decorate this building because of everything I did down here. Now, I am going to go through what we did today. And of course, it rains. The video is sad it's ending too. Okay. Either way, we got this building up, which this is going to be from Meadow. We got these gardens decorated along with this back path. This garden is now decorated. Hold on. Weather. Turn that way down. There we go. That's much better. But we got all these farms decorated. We now have a little bit of a well here. Going forward. Now have this entire area decorated. Around the bakery. As well as back there. And then cutting through the bakery. Now have this area decorated. Now that doesn't seem like much, but that is actually quite a lot. Just gonna back up a little bit so I'm out of the rain. But that was actually a lot of stuff to get done. Typically that would take me a full day of grind in order to get done. But I got it done in a few hours, which is honestly shocking to me. Typically I'm messing around watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. That's the reason it takes me so long. But this gears me up to get ready to fight the Ender Dragon in the next episode. Like I said, for Vinery and Brewery, I need the end of the game because I need chorus fruit. So I'm going to gear up for that and get stuff set up for Meadow. So next episode, the Meadow area is probably going to be fully decorated out, and we are probably going to fight the Ender Dragon. We'll go find the Ender Dragon, fight it, and then finish out Meadow. That is a lot of plans for next episode. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to go get prepped for that. Bye-bye.